First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to First City Focus. I'm your host, Allison Bowers. On this episode, we take a deep dive into the historical South Knox Girls Basketball victory. A community foundation is supporting foster families. We'll tell you about a large-scale dog rescue. An art exhibit is bringing awareness to social issues in Africa, and the Knox County Chamber hosted the State of Education. We have these stories and more right now on First City Focus. Knox County is home once again to state champions. This time, it's the South Knox Lady Spartans basketball team who made school history in earning the school's first ever state basketball title. Adam Reinhart has the details on this historic run to the top for the Lady Spartans.
With determination and true grit, the South Knox Lady Spartans did what no other team at the school had accomplished. Led by head coach Holly Eves, a former Lady Spartan herself, South Knox's journey to the top was years in the making. Before this season, the program had won 6 sectional titles, but had never advanced beyond regional play. That all changed this year as the Spartans secured the school's first ever state championship in any varsity sport. South Knox faced and even beat top-ranked opponents throughout the season, finishing with a 22-2 regular season record and sitting at number 1 in the Class 2A polls for much of the season. Last year's sectional loss to North Knox served as motivation for a senior class determined to leave a legacy. Players like Ella Bogue, Delaney Coombs, and Brent Hill had been on the team since their freshman year, but had never even won a sectional until now. Bogue said the players had been determined to make this year special since that loss to the Warriors. On the Friday before the state finals, she said fan support was a huge asset as they headed off to Indianapolis.
Obviously, we're super excited. We've been preparing all week. Our coach has a great game plan, and we're ready to go out and execute, but we're super excited to play together. It's going to be me and Britt and Coombs' last game, and so I think we're just soaking in every moment we can, and we're just ready to go. So
Spartan fans packed the gyms at North Knox, Charlestown, and Jasper during the postseason run, and students stormed the court in Jasper to celebrate the school's first ever semi-state title. The South Knox crowd then filled nearly half of Gamebridge Fieldhouse on March 1st, ready to witness history.
Our sophomore year, the top bleachers didn't even get pulled out, so I think to win state was a really big moment for our school and our community.
The state final against Rensselaer Central started slow, with both teams struggling offensively in the first quarter. But South Knox found its rhythm and led by 13 at the half. Then the Spartans controlled the second half to win 55-33 and secure the school's first ever state title. At the end of the first quarter, longtime South Knox educator and coach C.J. Carey was honored with the IHSAA Champion Educator Award, recognizing him as an inspiring educator. Carey, who coached Eves during her high school career, has been a key figure in the school's athletic history. Eves said since becoming coach, it's always been a goal to win state.
To put all the pieces together, it takes kids buying into you as a coach, and it takes parents that buy into you as a coach, and we really had that this year. They all believed in each other, and all these parents just really bought in behind me and helped me succeed and would do whatever I needed, and that's a huge key part of this.
The celebration continued the day after the win as the team was welcomed home by a packed gym and with speeches by former coaches C.J. Carey and Carolyn Piper. While South Knox will say goodbye to a senior class that helped redefine the program, the future remains bright as several key players return next season, including Kendall Hill, who led the Spartans in the finals with 18 points and 10 rebounds. But regardless of what the future holds, this season will always be remembered as the year the Lady Spartans made history. For First City Focus, I'm Adam Reinhart.
The Knox County Commissioners also honored the new state champions by naming Tuesday, March 4th, 2025 as Lady Spartans Day. Well, there are over 400,000 children currently in foster care in the United States, and they need support now more than ever. I'm here today with the Executive Director of the Stand Up Foundation, Lauren Alexander. Thanks for coming today, Lauren.
It's my pleasure to be here, Allison.
Tell me a little bit about the Stand Up Foundation.
The Stand Up Foundation was formed as a dream in my husband and I's heart. We were driving out on a rare date night as we had just started fostering 3 children under the age of 4. And so those date nights were very rare. And we knew our own struggles with saying yes were really purely financial. I had just opened my own business at the time. My husband's a pastor. And so we wanted to be able to help other families as we had been helped through our church family and through our community. And we wanted to offer them some of the same resources that we were able to receive when our children came to live with us. And so we created the Stand Up Foundation and received a 501c3 designation, and we have been in operation really since 2012.
So you mentioned your personal connection. Talk to me a little bit about your journey as a foster family.
It's kind of a wild story, Allison. We were married about 2 months when we really felt as a couple that God was calling us into foster care. And so we started researching a little bit more and started really seeking out some answers about how we could help. We saw a lot of needs in our city of Bicknell with children who had been displaced from their families because of drug abuse, opioid abuse, neglect, and it really broke our hearts. And so we were in a position to be able to help. And so we were married in February of 2010. By August, we received our licensure as foster parents, and Tabby, Heather, and Tyler joined our family on October 18th, 2010. They were 3.5 and 2.5 and 6 months old. And so we really jumped into the deep end. And I don't typically recommend that for everyone, but for us, it took a couple of years to figure out what was going to happen with our children and their story. And so I'm thankful to tell you that we were able to adopt them and that they got to be with their biological family some too. We got to create opportunities for everyone to be together and for them to get to know part of their biological family. So I'm thankful for that. And then we waited about 10 years and felt like we were supposed to dive in again. Our kids had really walked through a lot of healing, and so in 2020, which was the craziest year ever, we made the absolutely crazy decision to welcome a newborn into our family. And that started our journey of fostering about 9 kids in 4 years.
Wow. So you know what challenges and resources that foster families need firsthand. The Stand Up Foundation, what does it really focus on giving back to the families that are foster families?
Well, thanks for asking. We have 4 main goals that we have as an organization. The first one is advocacy. We like to talk to people like you in places like this, as well as in churches and with civic organizations, to make sure that they know the needs of kids in foster care and the families that support them, as well as what their biological or adoptive families may need in the future. We also love to do training for foster families and give them the support that they need to be able to further their education as far as how to be not just trauma-informed, but trauma-responsive. I know those are buzzwords right now, but I feel that it's really important that we understand where these kids are coming from, and trying to communicate love to them may look different than it looks in raising kids who may come from a different background. We also get the awesome opportunity to support these foster families. I spend hours on the phone every month talking through court dates, what foster families should expect, how to handle different behaviors, putting training and equipment into their hands, tools into their hands to help them make a difference with the children that they're nurturing at the time. And also sometimes crying with them on the phone when little ones need to return to their home of origin or need to move on. Those are really hard days, but I don't want that to scare anybody who's watching, because I have found that it is truly better to have loved and lost than never to have known these beautiful kids at all. So I have firsthand personal experience of what it looks like to say goodbye to a child that I've grown to love and consider part of my family. So we spend a lot of time helping families through that, and then we also get to mail them a check. We get to support them financially, whether that's through actual physical checks that we send out to foster families so they can pick, let's say, the right car seat for themselves, or they can choose the type of ball mitt that the child wants. We're able to give them a little bit of autonomy in a process that offers very little. We also love to be able to support students that want to continue their education that are in foster care through cosmetology school, helping with book fees. Things like this are really important to us. And then we also get to help kids who are in residential or group homes, kids that may not have access to an actual foster family, but we're able to still support them.
That's amazing, Lauren. You mentioned, having a little bit of hesitations. What do you think are some hesitations that hold people back that you would like to clear up some myths about fostering?
I had a good friend tell me once that he didn't do it for himself, because I asked him, how do you love them and then watch them leave? Mm-hmm. And he said, well, I don't do it for how it makes me feel. I do it because this little boy needs a dad right now. And I think that that's probably the best message I could send to anyone who's watching today that would even remotely consider getting involved, is that we don't do it for how it makes us feel. We do it because we believe in these kids, and they are honestly the heroes of any story I will ever tell about foster care, is how amazingly gifted, talented, kind, loving, supportive, and encouraging they are to me. Really, I open my home to them, but it's they who bless me. And so I would encourage anyone to consider that. I would also say, if you can't foster right now, look for other ways to get involved. I know our friends at CASA are always looking for volunteers. I know that there are 3 organizations in Knox County that work with foster families. There used to be just one when I started. And so I'm really proud to link arms with Jacqueline Cunningham and Megan Wedding at the Isaiah House, and also with Marcia Lambert at the Isaiah 117 Project. You can get involved in any of our organizations, and I feel like if you're watching this today, you have an opportunity to make a difference, whether you open your home to a child or not.
That's what I was going to ask. Someone that might not be in a place to foster right now, but they're interested in helping out. Is there a way they can donate their funds to you?
Absolutely. We have a beautiful brand new website, thestandupfoundation.com. We'd love for you to visit that and check out all the links and see what we're up to. And you can also feel free to holler at us if you've got an extra set of bunk beds that need to go somewhere, or maybe some dressers. We're always looking to help families with those types of needs that come up right away. When you get a call, it might be at 9 o'clock at night and they need a bed. So we'd love to have those kind of in stock so that we can deliver those. Our friends Kyle and Erica Evans do a great job of dropping those off with the families that need them. So if you're looking to donate gently used clothing, we also have a wonderful resource called Hope Closet, where we let foster families come in and shop for their kiddos.
Yeah, and if someone was a group of people are wanting to do a fundraiser maybe for you, have you had any of those recently, and how would they get those funds to you?
I'm so glad you asked. This very morning, I got to accept a check from North Knox Junior High Student Council, and they did this really fun Battle of the Sexes game that involved dressing up as elderly people and playing basketball and getting donations so that the girls beat the boys, and they raised nearly $1,600. And so I wonder, if a bunch of junior high students can raise $1,600, what can all of your viewers do to help lift the burden of the needs that these kids have, so that they can have an excellent childhood in spite of their circumstances, and they can learn to overcome any obstacle to be able to be a good citizen and to reach their dreams.
Right, and like you said, you're working locally, you're working here.
Yes.
So it's these families that you're seeing at schools and ball games that are the ones that are receiving these support. So if anyone was looking for something to get involved in, it seems like these are the kids in our community that need it the most.
You're absolutely right. And today I got to tell those junior high students there are actually children who are going to receive brand new dressers that were going to be drop shipped to the families right in one of the other 2 schools that they attend. So to get to see them know that they were helping fellow warriors was amazing to see their faces light up.
Right. So I think, any of you said Junior High Student Council. Mm-hmm. So imagine the other, groups and clubs around that could, put their efforts into something and see direct meaning put to that. So what you're doing is amazing, Lauren, and I hope everyone sees this and is called to help support in some manner, because like you said, the kids of our community, what's more important than that,
Absolutely.
So really, Lauren, I thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you nothing but success in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and thanks to your viewers for their support as well.
Thank you. Once again, if you are interested in donating to the Stand Up Foundation, there will be a link on our website. There are many animal situations that require assistance of the Vincennes Animal Shelter, but a recent hoarding situation in neighboring Illinois needed many organizations to help step in, including the Vincennes Shelter. Tessa Haig shows us now how many folks are working to turn the dire situation into the best of outcomes for dozens of dogs in their care.
On February 25th, the Vincennes Animal Shelter received a call for help.
Shelley Brinkley from Paws and Claws contacted us and said that they had a hoarding case and they needed help.
Luckily, the shelter had room to take in some more dogs, so they headed out to Fairfield, Illinois, where they arrived to a devastating scene.
It was a trailer. The steps were all kind of broken to go in. Upon entering the home, there were probably 5 inches of feces, but we just worked calm, and we did make entry into the home, and it was bad.
They took in around 20 dogs, and upon arriving to the shelter, the pups received necessary care.
And they needed baths, and now they're currently getting baths. They're getting vaccinated. They're getting defleed, dewormed. It looked like we had 3 that might be pregnant. We'll confirm that with the vet. No.
Oh, I need that one. That would definitely do it. 2 weeks after the rescue, we decided to go and get a much-needed pup date.
We received 22 dogs from the hoarding situation. Since that time, 15 dogs have went to rescue, 3 have been adopted, and we do still have 4 of the dogs currently here at the shelter. All 4 of those dogs are heartworm positive and still need a lot of socialization before they can be adopted.
They even had some new additions to the shelter when some of the dogs gave birth.
All the puppies are being cared for. We do want to socialize the puppies and make sure that they are used to people, being around people and being cared for. And hopefully when they are old enough, they will all be spay-neutered and adopted out to wonderful homes.
But even though these dogs are out of their horrible situation, they still need your help.
We always take volunteers. We need them tremendously. If not for these dogs, for the ones that's already here. Our barn is full, now our inside is full. We just need volunteers. We need people to handle the animals, socialize them. The ones that are here need to be walked. There's just not enough time in the day for staff to do it all.
You can just come out and visit us here at the shelter. We will be taking donations for their heartworm treatments, so just come out and visit us here at the shelter.
With First City Focus, I'm Tessa Haig.
To find out more about these dogs and other pets up for adoption, you can follow the Vincennes Animal Shelter's Facebook page. An exploration of African identity and contemporary social issues is now on display at the Shercliffe Gallery of Art at Vincennes University. We find out more from News Director Dave Foster and photojournalist Dave Novak.
The exhibition opened in February at an artist reception attended by several from the university and the community. Vincent Sniper Frimpong is a contemporary ceramic artist born in Ghana and uses his art to address themes of African identity, colonialism, consumerism, and imperialism. His work takes waste from the Western world like tech waste and used clothing, and then he reassembles the materials to form art pieces. His goal in the unique approach is to recontextualize the objects, making statements on the effects of Western practices on Africa.
I am here to share the Ghanaian experience. I am here to share what it means to be an African. I am here to share my experience with everybody. So I know that some people might just look at this aesthetics, qualities, but I am more interested in how these pieces came to be and how I am trying to initiate a new conversation through what I'm making.
Frimpong's journey as an artist began in Ghana, where he first encountered ceramics in high school. He pursued his passion, earning a degree in industrial arts with a focus on ceramics. His work has been exhibited in galleries across the United States. As he said, he's committed to fostering dialogue about African culture and history.
So some of the pieces here are also challenging the notions that what people think they know is not always the truth about Africa. I have heard so many things since I came to the U.S. about Ghana and Africa, and they are not always the truth, right? Africa is not a jungle. Africa is a place where we have beautiful houses, we have beautiful cars, we have everything, right? It's just, I think, a little bit of branding. So these pieces that are in here is broadening the nuances about all of these things that I have experienced in the U.S.
During his visit to Vincennes University, Frimpong engaged with students discussing his artistic process and the stories behind his work. He talked about the importance of embracing one's cultural identity, saying he carries his heritage with him wherever he goes, adding that his accent, background, and art are all a part of who he is. The exhibition offers students and the public an opportunity to experience Frimpong's thought-provoking installations firsthand.
First and foremost, I would say I'm excited to be here. This thing is, if you haven't seen the show, it's open till March 25th. You can come look at it and then experience the Ghanaian way of living. I have a video in the back that explains in detail what I made, especially like the piece behind me with the cloth. So I would be grateful if you are able to come and see the art.
Reporting for photojournalist Dave Novak, I'm Dave Foster for First City Focus.
The Surecliff Gallery on the VU campus is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. by appointment. You can find the contact information at our website. Vincennes PBS and the Knox County Chamber of Commerce recently hosted the State of Education for Knox County. Leaders from North Knox, South Knox, and the Vincennes Community School Corporation highlighted the importance of dual credit programs, internships, and career exploration. We're sharing with you now an excerpt from that program.
I'd say about 60% of my seniors leave at lunch, whether it's that they take part in an internship program that we do in-house, but then they'll send on out, or a work-based learning program through Twin Rivers, or Twin Rivers actually in the different places, be it automotive or construction or anything like that. Dual credit at South Knox. You can graduate from South Knox with up to 39 hours in dual credit. A lot of times we send kids to school as sophomores. We get complimented a lot on that. We take pride in that, that our dual credit offerings are across the board. We got a business and an ag dual credit along with your standard math and language arts, and our U.S. history is dual credit, anatomy and physiology. So we have an awful lot of opportunities for our kids to get those things.
I'm huge on internships. I think it's probably one of the most important things that we do. I mean, I don't care if it's a kid that goes out and finds that, goes to a situation, he goes, I want to work at the hospital, and he goes to the hospital. He figures out that I wanted to work there, but I didn't want to do that job. There's just a lot of, or sometimes they go places and they go, well, that's not working. I don't like this job. And that's just as important as figuring out that that's what you want to do early on in life before you go spending, a lot of money with regards to, and I think that the vocational area with regards to that, there's nothing that I would want more. I got a son right now that's teaching school and he's also thinking to himself, do I want to continue to do that, or do I want to become an electrician? He asked me, I said, well, you got to find out what you want to love, but we need those people. I mean, we need those people as bad as we need the teachers. That's what we need. And as parents, I tell young people all the time, if you got young kids, don't get too concerned about if they don't know what they're going to do. They're going to figure it out. They may change 3 or 4 times in their lifetime. And I'm glad for them. It's different experiences. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next time.
But that's where we're at, where they're having to choose in 8th grade. But the reality is they're probably going to change multiple times. And the way that we're handling that in the VCSC, we're fortunate. We have 2 counselors in the elementary schools who, in large part, some of the primary aspect that they're in charge of is career exploration. We're doing that as well at the middle schools. We had added a position there from a counseling standpoint. And then at the high school level, we have Becky Bushy, who is dedicated to basically careers. And many of you in this room have participated in our career fair. I'll put our career fair up up against anyone, but that's solely because of the work that Becky has done and bringing all these folks in and just trying to expose kids. And I think that's probably the greatest thing that we can do, is just exposing students to the different opportunities that are out there. And certainly we need these kids to stay in Knox County as well.
You can watch the entire State of Education program by going to our Vincennes PBS YouTube channel. And now for our final focus. For many years, Vincennes University's women's basketball team hosted an event called Play for K, where the proceeds went to the K-Yow Fund, fighting against all cancers affecting women. This year, Athletic Director John Meeks chose to start a new tradition. Blaze to a Community Cure was an evening where both the men's and women's basketball teams worked together to raise awareness and funds for those who are fighting cancer in our local community.
This is our first year hosting an event called Blaze to a Community Cure. And with the retirement of Coach Harry Meeks, we made a decision to transition into more of an overarching focus on cancer, where not just focused on breast cancer, but focused on all different types of cancer. And so tonight's an opportunity just to raise awareness for that, but then specifically to raise funds for people in our community that are encountering specific challenges related to cancer.
In 10 minutes, 50-50 raffle and silent auction in 10 minutes.
So we have a significant amount of donations that came from community sponsors, a variety of sponsors. I hate to start naming names specifically, but we have about 15 or 20 different community sponsors that were involved in that. And then we also had some autographed items that we were able to procure. So all of the funds that are raised from those specifically will go to those dealing with cancer challenges in our community.
And that's all for this edition of First City Focus. For everyone here at Vincennes PBS, I'm Allison Bowers. Join us again next week.
First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities, online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.